Malcolm then told y'all that, see, the fight in the Democratic Party, which many soft white nationalists, the Democratic Party, is to minimize those people who see that politics is a question of using tools to gather resources, and the D or the R don't mean nothing for us. We trying to get resources. People talk, Cori Bush, you ain't getting nothing done. Cori Bush just delivered millions to St. Louis, millions in federal aid over and above anything else. Now, the place is locked up. You got Joe Manchin, got instructions. You got Kristen Sinema giving instructions. So is the solution not to vote? Let's see what Malcolm, no, you got to overvote now. You got to go out here and vote. Oh, Malcolm would never say that. Okay, I'm going to end with this. Our people have made the mistake of confusing the methods with the objectives, Malcolm says. As long as we agree on objectives, we should never fall out with each other just because we believe in different methods or tactics or strategies to reach a common objective. He says we have to keep in mind at all times, we're not fighting for integration, nor are we fighting for separation. We are fighting for recognition as human beings. In the question and answer, they asked him about integration. He said, y'all ain't gonna get me in that trick bag. I don't even accept the premise. He goes on, we are fighting for the right to live as free humans in this society. In fact, we are actually fighting for rights that are even greater than civil rights, and that is human rights. You have whites in the community who express sincerity when they say they want to help. Well, how can they help? How can a white person help the black man solve his problem? Number one, you can't solve it for him. You can help him solve it, but you can't solve it for him today. One of the best ways that you can help him solve it is to let the so-called Negro who has been involved in the civil rights struggle see that the civil rights struggle must be expanded beyond the level of civil rights to human rights. Once it is expanded beyond the level of civil rights to the level of human rights, it opens the door for all of our brothers and sisters in Africa and Asia who have their independence to come to the rescue. He starts talking about taking the people to the World Court and the UN. Well, that still doesn't deal with the question of voting. He says, if Negroes could vote south of and he says, yes, if Negroes could vote south of the Canadian border, because he said everything south of the Canadian border is the South, as far as Malcolm's concerned in the U.S. South, he says, if Negroes could vote in the southern part of the South, Ellender wouldn't be the head of Agricultural and Forestry Committee. Richard Russell wouldn't be head of the Armed Services Committee. Robertson of Virginia wouldn't be the head of the Banking and Currency Committee. Imagine that, Malcolm asked. All of the banking and currency of the government is in the hands of a cracker. That's what Malcolm says. He goes on and says, in fact, when you see how many of these committee men are from the South, incumbency, you can see that we have nothing but a cracker government in Washington, D.C., and their head is a cracker president. I said a cracker president. Texas is just as much cracker state as Mississippi.